What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Young, Educated, and Uncertain podcast. I'm your host, Rashad Young. This is episode 6. We do have videos now. We're going to try to put this on YouTube. Today, I got a guest here today, man. Somebody I've known since high school. Somebody I consider a brother, you know what I mean? He's definitely taken a path that I didn't expect, especially trying to get into the music industry, but we'll talk about all that, man. But I got my bro, LJ, a.k.a. Jvinci, in the building.
Sir.
How you doing, man?
Sir. Good to see you, brother.
How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. We had a late night last night. But,
late night?
That's
living that young lifestyle?
Yeah. Someone tweeted last night, y'all party too much. I just stay and record. Like, that's a Drake.
I mean, that's a Drake line.
Yeah. Someone tweeted that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to stay in and write. And then someone called me.
Yeah.
They invited me to Wheelhouse. So,
Yeah, man. Shout out to Wheelhouse, man. Gotta show love to Wheelhouse.
Yeah, so
man.
I ended up not staying in and recording.
Yeah, man. So how you feeling, man? This is what we've been out of school we've been out of high school since 2013.
Yeah, man.
We both went to CBC. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cadets out there.
Great school, man.
And then we went to college, right? If I'm not mistaken, you went to UMKC.
I went to Rockhurst.
You didn't?
Yeah, I played soccer at Rockhurst.
Did you?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
It's all good.
No, you sure?
They right across the street. I mean,
you know what? I'm wild. You did go to Rockhurst. I'm tripping. They are right. Okay.
No,
but then you was a soccer player, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You took the soccer route.
Uh-huh.
And then now we're here. So now you're an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have a very interesting sound. Definitely I'm a fan of your music.
Appreciate you.
What? I won't say what happened is a bad thing, but like what got you to this point? Like who is LJ for people who don't know?
Well, I started out obviously playing soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer was revolved my whole entire life. I mean, you know this. I had a real good last year in high school. It was probably where I peaked as far as my high school career went, athletically. But it surrounded my whole entire life, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to go pro. It's the reason why I didn't go out so much even in high school. I always thought I was living for something bigger and better, and that was professional soccer.
For sure.
I went to college, and I tore my hamstring 3 times.
So you got hurt?
A lot of people don't know this, but I was walking with a limp for the majority of my college career.
Was that soccer related?
Soccer, all soccer. But honestly, it's nutrition. So,
go into that. What you mean nutrition?
Let me know. Man. Because of my lack of experience in going out in the high school years, I would go
try to kick it up in college.
Yeah,
okay.
And so I try to I feel like reinvent myself. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be. Now we're on a level playing field. I didn't have a car in high school, so sometimes I couldn't get places. But now no one has a car in college, so the playing field's easy. So I definitely my freshman year was just crazy. I didn't know how to take care of my body. I'd be training twice a day, and I'd go drinking without taking protein. Maybe I'd have a horrible meal. Or something. You know what I mean? I'd go drink. With that comes tight muscles. Also, when I was lifting weights, it wasn't soccer related.
Okay.
It was so I could look nice.
Okay.
And that just gave me injuries all over because as a soccer player, if you're 5'10", which is what I'm at, you should be weighing around 160, 165. Okay. And I was pushing 187. So that's what I was at. And so, man, I got so hurt so often in college, but I still believed that I could, go and take it to the next level. Yeah. Went to California. I had a real good trial with Sacramento Republic.
Okay.
But I at the end of the trial, I couldn't walk. Like my back was hurting because hamstring injuries just pulled everywhere.
Right.
And so after that, man, it took me 2 months to recover from a weekend. And I was like, all right, if I want to be able to walk when I'm 30, I got to find out something else to do.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
I've been writing music on my own.
So you've been doing that?
Since the end of college. And I'd even during spurts of college, I would stay by myself and just kind of try to write music. What really did it for me was I broke up. Well, we split my girl. Me and my girl. I don't know if you know my girl. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go play soccer. Really, I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna go to grad. I'm not gonna go get my master's. Okay. I'm not gonna be any more debt. I'm gonna go rap. You know what I mean? That's my second dream. My second dream was to rap. When I was 5 years old, I remember asking my pops, "Hey, I want to be a rapper like it's 50 Cent was big at the time."
Right. Now 50's a lot worse.
And he was like, "No, you're not."
Right.
Because in the 90s, well, I'm born in '95. So
Right.
But even '90s, early 2000s, every rapper was about something else, and he didn't want me involved.
So he didn't want you to be a part of that.
No.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Your father is African, right?
Yeah, Nigerian.
Okay, your father's African, your mother's white.
Yes.
So essentially, you're mixed.
Yeah. Very mixed.
So did your mom know about that? Did she know that you were interested in being in the artist form? Like, did she know that you wanted to be a rapper? And did she have any disdain towards it?
No. No one knew. So
Okay.
even how you saying it came out of nowhere, I mean, it was because I kept to myself. I'm not going to tell anyone until I'm good at it.
Of course.
Like, you know what I mean? So I remember I recorded my first verse and I sent my best friend in college. I sent him it and he said, "What do you think of this, bro?" And I was like, "I think it's cool. Like, what do you think?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's not the one, bro." But you have to have people to tell. He's like, "You can rap. Like, I can rhyme.
Yeah, you can
Toyota to Sequoia with, I don't know, whatever I need to rhyme with.
Right.
But I can't. Like, I wasn't good at making songs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So melodies, hook, chorus, even bridges. Like, I didn't know how to do anything.
It's a whole process.
Right. Also didn't even know the key of my voice where, the pocket you fit.
Right.
But yeah, man, no one knew. My mom, always supportive because I think they have enough trust in me that I'm not going to go do something crazy.
Right.
My pops was actually, it almost ruined our relationship with my pops. So.
Okay.
My pops is a good dude, man. He pushed me to go to school,
Right.
He was there for me when I was, in elementary school and middle school when they were trying to kick me out of every school I went to.
Why was that?
I was an energetic African kid.
So they considered you ADHD?
Yeah.
I already know where this is going.
They tried to diagnose me and they also tried to put me on Ritalin at a really young age.
They do that all the time.
And what would happen is I get bullied in elementary school and middle school.
Yeah.
And they'd catch my reaction. And I would get in trouble for the reaction.
Yeah.
But there's things in elementary school where that shouldn't have happened. That happened. Like I was told, in second or third grade, I had a girlfriend, third grade.
Right, yeah.
And her mom, one of my friends said, "Hey, Hannah," that was her name, "you're not supposed to be hanging around black people. Your mom said you're not allowed to like black people or not allowed to be around." And I was like, second grade, you don't even think about race like that.
No.
But that was the first time I was like, man, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? So there's a lot of racial tension. Ultimately, they've had to pull me out of that school because there was so much that it was, the parents were getting into it, And so it was really, but like I said, my pops was the one who, he's like, "You got an international business degree. You speak Spanish."
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm sure you have some languages.
Yeah.
In the stash.
And he's like, and what I did after college is I wanted to get better at writing music, so I just parked cars.
Okay.
And no one knows about this because I'm not going to post that on Instagram that I'm valeting.
So you're valeting?
Yeah, no,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm valeting, but during the day I'm writing for like 6-7 hours.
Okay.
Like I'm just trying to get better. I'm just playing with words, prepositional
putting
phrases.
everything together. Yeah.
Studying Nas, Eminem. Okay, what do I need to do to get to that level?
Right.
And after I got good, I didn't get to that level. I'm still progressing, hopefully, but I actually took a big time job. But he was frustrated with me, right when I graduated because I said, I'm not gonna go get sitting in the office 9 to 5. I never wanted to do this. This is what you wanted me to do. I don't like any of this. Like,
no.
I didn't. There was no job that made me feel like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do.
No, for sure.
So, me and my pops didn't speak for 4 or 5 months, man,
because of the differences of.
Mm-hmm. And we lived in the same house. So I'm like you said, moving back to
that was
parents,
tough, man. Yeah.
I had no money, so what am I gonna do?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I think I had $1,000 saved up from college.
Right.
And, I was trying to date still, so like
you're gonna
that's
lose
really
all that.
honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. That me and my pops, we went through it for a little minute. Yeah. But as soon as my first song dropped, then he was like, "Okay, at least my son's good at this. Now let's see where he can go with it."
Okay.
So that's when our relationship almost mended. It's weird. It was weird.
So I mean, I think you're speaking for a lot of people our age that we go to school, we get the degree, right? And I mean, I do think education has a certain foundation towards something, right? You have to acquire some sort of skill. Do I think everybody has to go to college? Absolutely not.
No.
I think you do what is in your heart. I think if you need to go to like to be a doctor or a lawyer, like the very major,
Accountant,
heavy,
medical
like,
field,
those things you have to acquire a skill. You have to learn the inside and out. But it's a lot of people always say all the time, man, got a lot of gifts and like talents within themselves that if they told their parents not going, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. 'Cause just from a generation standpoint, a lot of us hate our jobs, right?
Yeah,
a lot of us hate the idea of going to a 9 to 5.
No one wants to work anymore.
Nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to just
no.
I mean, that's just, but that's not a knock on anybody that does it, because I have a 9 to 5. Most people do, but truth be told, if people could decide what they want to do, at least in our generation, 95% of us not want to do a 9 to 5.
Right.
And so I think when it comes to parents, when you're talking about, your parents you and your dad having a rift, it's because of the idea of what he thought was important to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you got the international business degree, even you speaking multiple languages, realistically, like any job, you'd be very valuable because of the simple fact you can do that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
But I know, truth be told, you probably would have hated being in a corporate ladder, because essentially that's what that is.
Right.
And then you talked about debt, right? We talk about, student debt all the time. Even though you're not where you want to be right now, are you happy that you decided not to go to grad school?
Yeah. I got to forgive myself a lot for the past year and a half. I was releasing, I think, quality music.
Oh, yeah, they had some slaps.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. But I wasn't promoting it.
Right.
But that's because I was running 2 races at the same time.
Okay.
So even though I didn't take that 9 to 5, I was always working on the side because music isn't paying my bills right now.
Of course.
So I worked at Edward Jones, which is a real good firm, right? And they were paying me well. Not well, but like to where I was going to be able to pay my rent and have a car, which was my dumbass bought a brand new car. But anyways, so what I did was I took a full-time job because I needed something to propel my music. But instead of it going during my music, it went to things that were not that. And then I only lasted 6 months at Jones.
Did you last because you quit, or did you last because you got fired?
So it's what you call like a cordial. I quit. So yeah, on documents it'll say I quit. If you went to HR, it'd be like, yeah, he quit on this date.
Okay.
But there's I don't want to call it energy because I literally have meetings with these people, but like there's some essence of I wasn't sleeping at night. I was being less productive at work. They had meetings about my productivity.
Like a performance review.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I got to get out of here before they do something like that.
Right. Yeah, because they don't fire you right away.
No. And they'll give you 30 days and still pay you. They're a real good company. But I switched and I started selling insurance. And that was commission only. And I was trash. Like,
being honest.
So I thought I'd be able to. The gig about being in insurance is now I have a flexible schedule. Right. Now I can work 30 hours a week, make $70K a year, live with my parents or have an apartment, and then I can travel and do music whenever I needed to.
Right.
But I just wasn't good at it. So I got all those licenses, and I was up door knocking in North City. I was I was on Kennerly a lot. I was off Garfield a lot. Like I was Natural Bridge. Yeah, I was
on that side.
Yeah, I was outside.
You was outside.
Yeah. And it was so funny is I was meeting with people's grandmas, and things like that, and they started knowing me down there from my insurance more than my music, which is I would love for North City to like my music, but they're like, oh yeah, you talking to my grandma about hey, Cheryl down the street. Yeah. So it was funny like that, but. Yeah, I have to forgive myself for the last year because my funds, first of all, I wasn't making enough funds because I tried to be greedy with it and go sell insurance instead of just taking a good job, living at home, and just putting all towards music.
Of course.
Now I'm making money. I sold my car. I moved back in with my parents. I sometimes take the bus to work because I want to save all my money and put it towards music. Like it's a difference between putting $200 towards a song and putting $3,000-4,000 into a song.
I bet.
You know what I mean? And it is. So $3,000-4,000 in ads is gonna run that.
Oh yeah, run it up, man. Yeah. Of course.
So I have to forgive myself because I didn't get burnt out, but I lost steam because I was putting out so much music and it was not really going up anywhere. As a matter of fact, sometimes I felt like I went.
You was like plateauing or like slowing down?
I felt like, my growth was slowing down. Yeah. So I wasn't, first of all, people still tell me to this day that they think 64 bars could be a song that would go.
Easily.
Yeah,
easily.
They're like that's a song that could go. Like you still should be promoting that. And I'm like, so what happened? How would my career have changed if when I released 64 bars, I pushed that for the whole year instead of releasing Coleslaw, Elvis, Diamonds, or all those songs? What if for a whole year I pushed one song? You know, guaranteed that song I'd be a better place than I am now. But maybe I'd be rapping like that all the time. You know, maybe I'd be.
Yeah, I've said the same thing. Even with my book, you know, people ask me all the time, like, "How's the book going?" I haven't promoted it at all. You know what I mean? Okay. I mean, it was one of the things, like, when it came out, you know, I went hard for like a day or two. Cause like I when I first did it, it was one of those things of like I was trying to prove something to people that a lot of people seem like it was impossible. Like, how could you, you know, like when you're doing music or anything with creativity, at least coming out the gate, your overall focus is to like prove to people like you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And so you're trying to just go all in and just hit everywhere.
How do you promote a book?
I mean, I think book writing is a lot different. And I've kind of come to like with peace knowing that it may take like 3 or 4 books for like people to like catch on. Like The Alchemist didn't get big. It's like 20 years after he wrote it. Right. Book writing's a lot different than music because music is more so it's out. You know, it's a microwave. Book writing, most people don't read books.
Slow roast.
It's a slow roast. Yeah. So it's like it's out. If I realized if I sat around and promoted it, and I've gotten great feedback. A lot of people love the book. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like people like it. You got a small pool and you roll with it, and you know if it ever gains traction, maybe you got to write 2 or 3, and then you know people will hear about it. I don't really lose sleep at night. But no, as far as promoting music, man, I think at least for artists, and this is just my opinion, everybody has their own niche, their own sound, right? I think when everybody comes out, they're all trying to. You pull inspiration from somebody. Like,
I'm sure you can name 5 people.
I'm pretty sure you pulled inspiration for Drake. I mean, that's just most.
I think you can't make music now and not say that Drake probably has influenced it, right?
Exactly.
Because he said his inspiration was from Fonte. I don't know how you pronounce it appropriately, but he was the first kind of rapper singer. Lil Wayne was also a rapper singer, right? You got
Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye. I mean, and you don't have Drake without Kanye, 100%.
Oh, he says that all the time. Yeah.
So you have these rapper singers, and 50. 50 was singing.
People forget about 50.
Yeah,
like 50 had his own legendary status.
He's stuck in his same key, but he was melodic. Yeah. Eminem started being melodic. So I have shifted within. After 6 months of making music, I definitely had 2 or 3 influences that you could actually probably pick out in my music. Where it's almost kind of like, okay, I can see kind of where you were going with it. You know what I mean? Like, or like, if you're close to me, maybe if you're just a runaway listener, occasional listener of music, you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd be like, oh, that's Jvinci. That's
just
cool.
A new song.
But if you love music and you listen to the greatest artists like the Drakes, like the Big Seans, like the Logics, and
you think Logic's good?
I honestly, I'd be capping if I said I didn't listen to him a lot in college.
I respect
it. He's definitely not putting that much effort into it right now. But you can see that. No, I mean you can see that. I mean when you look at as a writer, when I look at rhyme schemes and how they're built, and the diversification of it and the flow switches. I mean, he had a song with Juicy J that even I don't know if you saw when the Joe Budden.
I saw that. They ripped him apart. Bro.
Yeah, I was like, and honestly, the positivity thing, it's great. So he has this niche, right?
Yeah.
His niche isn't necessarily me, but Under Pressure was a great album.
What do you think is your niche?
His niche?
No, your niche from an artist.
I think we're still figuring that out. As far as just my background and everything, I feel like first of all, my Spotify stats say 70% men, 30% women, ages 13 to 17, and then 18 to 24. I think we haven't pushed a brand out enough to know exactly what my niche is. I'm definitely, I know what my niche isn't. I know what my niche isn't for sure. You know what I mean? I know that it's not. I'm not gonna be people, I don't know, who's an artist that is completely different from me?
Like
Suicide Boys, maybe something like that. Like people that like that type of music might not like my music. They might like 1 or 2 songs by me, but they're not going to be my hardcore fans. I think my hardcore fans, I mean, it's definitely going to be probably people that go to the gym like my music.
It's definitely party. It's definitely gym music.
Yeah. So I got hype music, right? Yeah. Hype music that ain't too. I ain't talking about stabbing nobody yet. So yeah.
No, we're not. Yeah. No, that's not. I mean, I think like I was telling my friend. I had a lot of friends that are artists. And I'm like, you all got to kind of figure out what that looks like for you. I always say though, man, whenever you figure out that's it, you just have to ride with it. I know people say a lot of things about the baby, but that's his thing. Like, he has the same flow literally when the beat drops. And I know to a lot of people that's annoying, but it's kind of like until it falls, you got to roll with it.
Meg Thee Stallion, she's doing the same thing. She's Juicy J's flow. You've got to understand he's imprinting on you now. Now there's even the baby type beats. You can know when the bass, they did that thing with like he's got a signature sound now. He basically if from a rapper standpoint, the babies and Drake's beats are actually pretty similar.
I can see that.
The babies are a little more up tempo, and the baby doesn't let the beat breathe.
No, it doesn't.
So he hits the triple flow, and there's no space to breathe. Yeah. The way Drake would have probably approached that is let the beat ride, like this. But their beat pattern and Logic's actually is somewhat similar to both of theirs.
Yeah.
But I mean, the baby is imprinting on everybody right now.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that dude's fired. He's actually. It made me happy to see that a rapper is like making waves.
No, for sure. Cause when I first heard him when he came out, I was like. I don't know.
Which one did you first hear?
What's the song? Hold on, let me pull up my phone. I know the song.
Is it Yeah?
No. It's not Suge. It's not Suge. No. Everybody knew about the baby when Suge came out. A lot of my homies
you peeped him early.
I won't say like myself. I got a lot of homies that like are really big when they find like some. What's it called? What's the name of the song? Next song. It was an intro to one of his last projects in like 2018.
Yeah.
And it was like he came in. I was like, I don't know. But then I heard it over and over. I was like, yo, like he
got some bars too.
I was like, he kind of good. And so then when he blew up with Suge, everybody figured out who he was. But I'm not gonna sit there and say I was like the baby fan right away. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of
He's
people.
29 too. I mean,
people
don't even think about that. People think the average artist age now is like 18, 19 maybe.
Yeah.
Like for new artists. Thing is, they don't, whatever. I'm not going to say anything about that. But like, you shouldn't. Go ahead.
My question for you is, what is your ultimate goal? Like, being an artist. I think, a lot of people are big on numbers or they want platinum albums or they just want to just sign that big deal. What is your overall goal?
I'll tell you this. I mean, there's steps to my ultimate goal. If I was going to reverse engineer it right now, I want to be an artist that it's really about that feeling. Like, I remember riding my bike in college, no friends that I could really call on. I was hurt, or maybe like my soccer wasn't going my way. My parents are, my family's far away, Yeah. And the music kind of made me feel not alone. And so I just want that same feeling for people growing up and to be like, oh man, like that's what makes you go on these tours, these concerts.
Yeah.
Like I just want to make music that people really feel, and that they feel when a 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid, even black kid, white kid, whatever, but even people like me, they grow up, they're like, oh man, I can do this. Like he understands where I came from, or like or feel like they can do better in life. I don't know. That's really, I want that moment that I felt growing up, where even when I didn't have friends that were really messing with me like that, even when I had girl problems, when I had family issues, when I had all the struggles I went through growing up, that at least someone can know, hey, I went through these too, and you can make it out. And that's kind of cliche, I think, for artists to say, but that feeling of knowing that, wow, I've always been thinking that, I just didn't have the words to say it.
I had the word, yep.
That's what I want. That's all I want. And so from a real standpoint, that's what I want. Now, from artificial kind of, I'll say from a standpoint, you say numbers. Numbers mean something because the more numbers, the more people listen to it, the more people you can affect. I definitely just want to be. I want to be the first artist that kind of does almost cross genre work sometimes. So obviously I love hip hop and everything, but I want to be someone that touches every single genre or at least opens up to it because first of all, black people, we don't really rock with country in this country. Right? We don't rock with country. I'm not saying I want to make country music, but I want people to know that we invented country.
Facts.
So why are we pushing away from it like it's not? So we're gonna let other people make country when we invented it. You know what I mean? Like, and then we're gonna push it away and say, "Oh, we don't do that."
It's more of a culture thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I think outside of Lil Nas X, I won't say I've never heard a country song. There's some country songs I've heard of it.
I've heard three, probably. I've heard 3 in my life.
Yeah, and like you hear them and they're like they're good. You're like this is nice, but I'm not finna go out and play it.
Why don't you think so though? So you say
why? I think it's one of those things of. That's actually a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think about it, because now you brought up something because yes, there's other races and cultures that will listen to rap, but we don't listen to.
Why not?
I think because for us, at least for me, I think rap is just something that we've just kind of rap and gospel and like R&B is like our thing. You know what I mean? Like that's like an imprint of what it means to be black to us, and that's like through the music, regardless of what people think, that's how we kind of depict our culture. Not necessarily every rap, but it's kind of hard to listen to a Tim McGraw song,
right?
And although he's probably talking about heartbreak, maybe he's talking about family issues, it's not gonna necessarily hit the same.
I don't want you to like Tim McGraw. I want you to write like Darius.
I know that's a lot.
I want you to like. I just want us to own the things we create. Again.
Facts.
We have there's a rapper called Scarlord. He's like a screamo kind of rapper, but like
it sounds
if we created rock and we created rap, like we created basically, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a historian or whatever, but we created, I know, basically 3 major things. Right?
We had a very large imprint with rock, although Elvis got the credit.
Right.
He
stole a lot of music from black artists.
Yeah. But it's one of those things of, I think we've always had kind of like that. It's like if we think about culture, like at least with us, we kind of had like the turn the cheek syndrome. With some things we've gone full fledged with, and like we're not going to fold for it. But there's some things like we're like whatever.
So what happens then if now let's just say someone in the industry, let's say a Jay-Z or a P Diddy, now he just finds 3-4 black country singers or whatever, in the middle of nowhere, and he just pushes them.
Change the game.
And then so now as a kid that wants to do music, your scope is open to now. Oh, I don't always have to do rap and sing, but I can do country. And now the top charts for pop and for country, they don't look the same because we deserve, if we created it, we deserve to reap the benefit. That's what I want. I want us to reap the benefits.
The only hard thing about that, and I'm always for that. I'm always for anybody for real, but especially us to go out of those ways to see what we can do. Is more so the amount of backlash that comes with stuff. You know what I mean? So
what
like
backlash would get?
Like Lil Nas, for example, they tried so hard not to give him that number 1 because he was a black country singer. And they tried to give Billy Ray Cyrus that credit, and Billy Ray was like, "No, that's his song. Like you're not gonna get credit for it." So it's not. I don't think it's the kids, man. I think it's just how the system works sometimes.
But now we have the internet, bro.
We do have the internet, but the thing is with the internet sometimes is that there's always people that will always find a way to shut it down. Just think about if we're gonna take this route. Just think about all the great people that have been black in different environments that's not used to their own, that's not within their own culture. And as soon as something went wrong, they got wiped out. Everything just erased itself. So it's one of those things. So like rap is the only thing that most of us can relate to because we know that we dominate that in every spectrum,
right?
Because not only we listen to it, white people love rap, Latinos, Asians, as much hate that goes within culture. I think when it comes to black people, sometimes if they hear a song that they like, a lot of stuff gets thrown out the window. So I think in your case, I think it's very interesting just for the simple fact you grew up on both sides. You know what I mean? You have the black father, you have a white mother. And so I guess my question for you is that when you reach the mark that you want to reach, do you think that's going to be a hard, I won't say hard sell, but like, you think you're going to find a way to cater to both sides? If that's your goal, if that's not your goal,
I don't know. So I think we as black people and as creators and as a creator, people are just going to have to kind of deal with whatever I put out. I'm not going to cater to anyone just because I think who I am generally people are going to like as far as the music goes.
Of course,
but like,
sure.
So we create and then we decide what's popping.
Yeah.
And then people consume it. So
Sure.
All that's going to happen is either, have you seen those videos of when like these famous rappers see their target audience for the first time, they do their first show and they realize 80% of their audience is white?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's going to happen, right? There's more white people than black people in the United States. So I don't have to really cater to anyone. I just have to make really good original music.
Yeah.
And that's all. Then people are split. So, if you think about the top artists right now in the game, I won't even say numbers wise. Well, I'll say numbers wise. You already got your Drakes, right? He's biracial, right? And he's from Canada. And he's been an actor since he's 16, right? Yeah. So, who's another big guy? Well, we'll talk about Kanye. You even put your Chance the Rapper in there. You don't think Chance is up there?
Me and my friend joke about Chance.
Okay,
Chance is big.
Numbers wise, he's got a hardcore.
We're not Chance fans over here. I like what he does as far as what he does for the city of Chicago, but musically,
that's why I like.
I'm not a fan.
I like that the most, and I like a couple of his songs. I won't lie. No problem.
That's probably it.
I can't.
It's all love, Chance.
But but all those, even the top dogs, man, even like, I won't even consider him a rapper, but even Post Malone right now.
Yeah, I get that.
So all these cats aren't really catering to anyone.
No.
I think maybe Post Malone is, but like, they're not, I don't think they're necessarily pretending not to be someone else either. You know, it's not like they're a rapper. They all, most of the people I mentioned were all middle class growing up, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Middle class. So it's not like they're also trying to be something else. They make the music they create, and then everyone just So that's my thing, man. Yeah. I wouldn't care who my fan, because as long as I'm making something from the heart, like which is that's my biggest goal of this year, is to actually write stuff that matters more in a deeper sense. Because I think I can make a couple slaps. Yeah. I think I could find a nice beat, write a hook, write a verse that makes people laugh or jump up and down. Yeah. But I want those songs that, people be like, oh, you haven't heard this joint, listen to it. And you're in the car and you're just like, oh, like those are the joints I'm looking for, is that I want to get a lot better at. So I don't want to call them sleepers, but I just want to be a better storyteller.
Yeah. Is there like a time mark for you, like when you want to hit this stride of? Because I saw a post. You follow academics, I'm sure. Roddy Ricch posted something 7 years ago about.
I just read that. Yeah.
Basically, nobody was liking his music, and I think and kind of just going to like the overall idea, like my podcast. You know what I mean? It's like we essentially are taking multiple paths in life. I kind of put two paths like on a logo. But at least with us in that generation, man, we're very timely with everything. You know what I mean? Like, we all have, like, these time markers and goals, and we want certain things, like the hidden stride. And, the unfortunate thing about, like, Instagram and stuff like that is that we always see the final product. We never see the amount of time that really goes into.
Would you want to see that?
Me personally, I think if the world really saw what people really went through, like, on a day-to-day, I would think that a lot of people quit putting pressure on themselves to like reach a certain point in a timely manner. At least I think anything in regards with artistry or creativity, because you're seeing like a young person the same age doing the same thing you're doing, but you're forgetting that they've been doing that since like 2005
for sure.
And so you see them now, and they got all the stuff that you want, and it's like, I think if people show that a lot more, a lot of people be more practical with what they got going on. I'm pretty sure you follow Gary Vee. Everybody follows.
Yeah.
Everybody follows Gary Vee. He's a prime example of that. Like, Gary Vee is big, but if you really go back into like his vault, you know, regardless of what people think
his
about
first wine videos.
Yeah, like Gary Vee's been doing this for a long time. Yeah. He's now just hitting the stride of he's at the top. Sure. But everybody sees Gary Vee now as Gary Vee, like, you know. But I do believe the story of that he was in his dad's basement at 25, putting stuff in the wine cellar, and he was making wine videos at 26, 27, looked super out of shape. Right. But now they see Gary Vee now traveling the world, this, that, and the third. That's what I mean. Do you have a time marker? And I know music is a little bit different with that. You kind of hit when you hit. But do you personally have like an individual goal of when you would want to be, I won't necessarily say at the top, but recognizing us where, you know, you can do this full time. Like, you know what I mean?
I would like to hit it this year. Okay. I'm doing everything I can possible, besides sometimes I think I drink a little too much. But as far as time, I think I'm putting in the work. I'm writing every day. I'm getting better. Yeah. I've listened to probably about 60 to 70 beats a day, just trying to find the right one. That's a lot, man. I write. I probably start at least 3 or 4 or 5 songs a day. But it's really, my problem is not the music. It's the branding.
The branding.
So I want to. I think this year could be a real good thing. We've learned a lot about TikTok.
Yeah, it's like taking over. TikTok is like everywhere.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of TikTok influence. There's just things that it's pretty plain to see. Like, okay, you got to do a certain amount of things. Yeah. We made a few contacts. I'm working with one of the producers from the Scorpion album. And he's gonna help. Yeah, so he's gonna help push one of my records.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who.
What?
I'm trying to figure out who this guy is.
Yeah, well, he produced Tipsy from Jaquan too.
You said Scorpion? I'm trying to think of all the producers that are on Scorpion.
Yeah, he did After Dark.
What's his name? They told me that. Oh my god, really? That's dope.
Yeah. So things are moving kind of.
He's from St. Louis, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He did Nelly Air Force One. So he got a bunch of plaques.
Yeah, he got hits, man.
Yeah. So we're working with him. I think this year could be a real good thing. However, you never know what people like. People sometimes, like, there's songs that I think all my songs are good, but there's songs that I think that I don't release that people like a lot. So you never know.
Why is that? I've always been curious about artists that do that. You guys will literally have like 20 songs that you know would probably be good. Mm-hmm. And y'all would just like sit on them. Like y'all would just.
Well, the sound doesn't match up. That's my thing.
The sound doesn't match up with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but who knows what you're trying to do if it's better for you to just release.
That's everything. That'd be my biggest question. I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I have so many friends. I'm like, yo, you guys be sitting in the vault. Like, no, man, we gotta put out an album. I'm like, man, if you don't drop,
no one cares about albums anymore.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, my thing is, like, if you don't just flood this stuff and maybe all 20 don't slap, but one of those 20 slaps, then you just roll with it.
I think it's it might be a combination of self-esteem and insecurity at the same time. Yeah, because my pride is too high for me to put out a song and someone play it and then be like, all right, this is But at the same time, you realize that, like, people don't like Drake. People don't like big. There's people don't like the Travis Scott. They're gonna be like,
a lot of songs.
People didn't like Juice WRLD, and actually, I was wrong about that dude. He has some real good hits. But yeah, so sitting on hits, I think it's just I have a song called Somebody Else, and it's really soul-y, and like it's just not what I was going for. Like, I didn't think it would sound like that. But it doesn't match up with all the rapping I'm doing. So I could potentially confuse everyone. Now it's not a lot of people right now, but
Yeah.
if they hear like me going and hitting that, and then they hear me singing like next, who cares? Maybe it doesn't even matter. Maybe
I personally think, man, like
just flood everything.
That my thing is and this is just again, I'm not a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friends, they take music serious. I might hop on a song or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like for jokes. Like personally, I always wanted to put out an album. But it would never be to be an artist. It would just to say I did it, and I'd probably come under like an alias or something.
Yeah.
Like
you should get a ghostwriter. I'll write for you.
Hey, I want you to get big first. I want you to get big.
All right, bro. I promise. My friends are all. I have some pretty cool friends who are trying to do some cool things, and they're like, "Man, I want to make a song." I'm like, "I'll write you one."
Yeah.
If you're popping or whatever, and you just want, I'll gladly give you.
Yeah.
One.
I've always wanted to just do it, but I've also just me writing books. I'm very prideful with that too. So I always try to find a way to push myself. But I will say this, just as my own personal suggestion, I'm not a branding guru.
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading this book called The One Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it kind of breaks down like all the myths.
I see it.
Yeah, it's like my magical bookshelf.
Awesome, bro.
And essentially, it breaks down all the myths of like everybody has all these different ideas, and truth be told, you can't do it all at once. You know what I mean? Like you spend 6-7 hours, or you listen to 60 to 70 beats a day. There's no way you can do that and also put in the same amount of time with branding at the same time. It's impossible. It's kind of like you have to figure out which one is your point of emphasis. Like even with this pod, it's like my overall goal right now is just to put out stuff consistently and just to kind of create a core base, and then eventually just start firing off. Just for branding. But you can't do both. You can, but just something's it's no such thing as balance.
For sure.
And that's what the book eventually says. And I was like, man, like, because everybody talks about it, everybody wants like a balanced life. There's no, realistically, you have to go all the way in with something or you don't. You just kind of let it be. So like, you got 20 songs, man, in the vault. If we're thinking about branding, you just drop all 20 and you find a way to brand it. That's really it.
Just find a way.
Just find a way. Like, I'm just saying, like, I just think it's literally impossible, at least starting off, because the guys we look at now, like, they got a team. Like, Drake has a team. He just has to go in the studio. The beat's already ready. Like, he sits, he approves it, he writes, he raps it, and then he has a team that pushes it out. Like, he doesn't have to do that. Now, when you're, like, starting off, essentially it's you doing it by yourself. Just you have to figure out which one like you actually want to focus more on. Like, you want to focus more on like dropping the music, which I always think is the most important thing, and then branding. I know like with artistry, like you guys have to do shows. Like that's another portion. Which I know you've done shows, but I know the overall goal would to do more shows. Yeah, how do you do that? It's like so either you find somebody to help brand for you, and you focus on the music, but it's very hard to do. It's extremely hard to do both. And I've learned that because everybody thinks like trying to be self-made. There's nobody self-made. Somebody is helping you out along the way.
Well, and it's usually, in music, it's usually an old white guy. Seriously, yeah. You think about it like,
that's true.
Music is older white gentlemen.
Yeah.
No offense to white gentlemen out there.
But it's true though. Like those are the guys that will like front you.
Hiring blacks.
Yeah.
To talk about whatever they need to talk about, getting more than they put in. So it's like again, it's I always say, man, I rather just do things with people I know that actually has like my best interests at heart. For sure.
Because truth be told, man, everybody can't be the guy. Like everybody wants to be like the top person,
especially in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you about
St. Louis
that.
has a culture of that.
Like everybody wants to be a top person. Like realistically, everybody can't be the top person. It's just not everybody has the image or the sound. Right. Like everybody wants to be artists, which is fine. But I know there's a lot of better rappers out here that's better than Drake. I know there's people that's probably way more creative than Kanye and Travis, but they don't have the look. They don't bring in what those people bring in. Those are things that set people apart. Sometimes, man, it's just the look.
You think so? That's the biggest constructive criticism I've had. As they said, so what I've heard and this is so I've actually spoken to record labels already. I've spoken to songwriters with Usher's team. Like I've spoken to a lot of people way better than me in the industry, and their thing is they said basically I have all the pieces, right? He's like, but you need to look like a star. You need to look like a star. People need to look up to you. Which going back to not saying that 10 years, sometimes that's part of it because your audience thinks you're unattainable. Yeah. Right? So they think, man, I can never be like that. He is so awesome. But now you have people that have vlogs and everything you see. But the thing is, you have to look like a star, or your branding has to be so pushed so well, like a J. Cole. Well, even J. Cole, he had a flashy look in the beginning, but like I'm trying to think, maybe like a Jordan Lucas. His voice is so different. Yeah. His branding was the political stuff. Yeah. So either you have to brand yourself as a star and release quality music, or your brand has to be so big that people aren't looking at you visually. And Jordan thing was like
I can even say was it Hobson? Like even though he's not as big, but like when he first came out, they like this dude is weird. Like
he does have a weird look,
but
he looks kind of scary, bro.
Right,
yeah.
But like when he's putting out the eyes thing, but when he's putting out music, some people's like dude's kind of talented. So he had the look. Yeah, it's a lot of songwriters, man, in the industry that probably can write hits, but they know they didn't have the look. They don't,
So how do you what prevents? I mean, there's so many artists out there with that. I don't know what is the look.
I think the look is more so. Thing is, man, I just believe that you have people who are really good at certain things. Mm-hmm. I consider myself a people person. Mm-hmm. Like you put me in a room of people, I'm gonna have everybody know who I am before I leave. Mm-hmm. That's in my inner nature. Not because I come off any different. Not because I think I'm better than anybody. Because I actually care about the people, so they know there's no BS when I come to them. That's my natural gift. Mm-hmm. I try not to do anything as the guy. The job I work at now, I have to do a lot of like talking and presentations. But I know I'm good at that. Mm-hmm. I don't have to. Parents and kids have told me they enjoyed it because I have a relatable look. I talk to them in a very relatable sense. I try not to sugarcoat anything, but I also show that I care. You know what I mean? Some people are good at the visual aspects. There's a lot of photographers out here, but you have songwriters who are trying to be rappers and singers, but they're just better off at making songs. Party is a prime example of that. Party is a great artist, great songwriter. Give all of Party's music to Drake. Watch what happens. And I'm not saying Party cannot sell music.
Do you think that's not already happening?
No, what I'm saying is that like I'll take P3 for example. P3 was his most recent project.
Okay.
Great album. Loved it.
That's not this year. He hasn't dropped his new stuff. He said it was coming in January, didn't he?
Yeah, we got
bro,
a week
Party
left.
Next Door is something else, bro.
But what I'm saying is that, and that's no disrespect to Party, but you get that music to somebody that already has the look, because Drake just has the look. All those songs, this could be 09 Drake. All those songs, I guarantee you, are just going to pop because he just had the look. He would. I know.
What's the look right now then?
I think the look is just how you find a way to stand out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think it's one of those things of you gotta know where you at too. Like St. Louis is a very interesting place musically, where at least in the rap world, everything is just full like grimy and gutter. So like there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah. It's like you either.
Which is fine. You can have an aspect. I try. So LA Foes messaged me when I had a snippet of a song out, right? And it was kind of had a grimy feel to it. And I tagged him in it. And he's like, he's talking about a feature or whatever. And like, that's something I'd like to do more because it could be a contrast of ideas, right? It could be, and also Cusco. I don't know if you know Cusco, but
I heard of him.
He's, he was in the Like Us video.
Okay.
He's a cool dude. All of them, like, we might have different audiences and we might actually rap about different stuff, but there's no way we can't do who's doing it right now. There's two, like a Drake Future type thing, or a Drake Lil Baby type thing, or like.
That's right, but thing is, where we at in the city though, like
that's
and like I know you've been back and forth to Atlanta. that's why a lot of artists, they end up going, somewhere else. Because Atlanta's really big on, like, collabing. They don't care. They don't care who you are. Like, if they know you got something, you can bring something, man, they're going to put their arm around your shoulder and they're going to roll with it. Here, man, again, this is what I'm talking about.
It's like New York in the 2000s.
Everybody is trying to be
50 Cent.
The guy.
Everyone's trying to be 50 Cent.
Right. But the truth is, and there's no disrespect to none artists because I don't listen to their music enough to, like, go in. All y'all can't be the guy. Mm-hmm. But if y'all work together, man, y'all can make something way bigger happen. Right. And then if y'all ever get big enough, then you can branch out.
And we'll have different. The internet's so segmented, bro. You could make $100,000 this year rapping about anime. You know what I mean? You could be an anime rapper, and you don't have to be big, but you feeding your family.
Like it's one of those things of like, what is most important? Like, are you trying? That's where I'm also try to. That's why I asked you about what is the success aspect to you, like, because we all have aspirations of like the cars and the houses, but it's like, could you not be okay just being able to just take care of your family and just like go to Target without having to worry about people knowing who you really are? Like, some people may know you.
Oh, I need to be mainstream. I'll tell you that.
Okay, well,
that's that. If that short answer to that is, I do want to be a mainstream artist. It's not not necessarily. I don't have an arbitrary I don't have a numerical follower count or whatever.
But you want to be known like that.
I want people to be like, oh, he sang that song called
which is fine. Like, that's okay. But like, I think sometimes everybody wants to be the person.
Oh yeah,
that's more so I want to emphasize.
That's a St. Louis thing too. We've got a lot of pride here. I don't. You don't think so?
No, I agree. Okay. I say that. I say that all the time. That's why at least when I've done episodes in the past, I just try to shout out anybody that I might have been listening to, because it's just my thing is, truth be told, we all doing the same thing. One of us may really pop, and the others may not. Yeah. Or we all pop together. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not so big headed where I'm thinking, oh, I'm trying to be the guy. Sure, I have my aspiration of I know what I want to do. Very confident in what I can do with this. If I, once everything really starts coming full fledged, but I would never get so big headed to the sense of like, I don't want to help these other guys out. Like, we're all doing this. No, I would love to see, even in the podcasting stream, I would love to see 10, 20, 30 St. Louis mainstream podcasts nationally. Everybody's not going to listen to us all at once, but we have a lot of talent here, man.
I think the key is short snippets for podcasts, short snippets that people already care about. Like, I know you probably have a lot of interest, but like, I don't even know, like that who went off for 36 the other night? Someone unexpected. No, Damien. Damien had 60 points or something like that. Yeah. If there was like a close-up video, just a 5-second snippet, Damien, and then people click your profile and they see, you do podcasts. Like, if you go to already where the attention's at, so I don't like, this ain't a basketball podcast, but like, there's so much room on the internet for everybody, and
that's the point.
But it didn't used to be like that, right?
No, it's way different. I just think that it's like I said, my overall goal, man, with this type of stuff, at least when I bring y'all guys on, is just one is to have a conversation, two, maybe bring people into a world of somebody they don't know. That's it. That's really it, man. Like I said, anybody I've talked to, man, I mean this, man. I want to see everybody win. Everybody we went to high school with, we got
a lot of talent.
We had a lot of talented people from the high school, man. Remember Devin? Williams?
He just got a contract.
Right. So,
and then
he's with the Brewers now. I mean, he was with
Jordan too.
Mizzou
Jordan. He went to
Harold.
Jordan Barnett.
I know he's overseas.
I thought he was playing here.
He was here. I'm sorry, Jordan. I haven't caught up, but I know he was with. I know he had a summer contract with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Then I think he went overseas. And then I think he came back.
That's still dope.
No, but my thing is, you got Jonathan Owens. He was with the Texans.
Oh, he's in the Cardinals.
He's with the Texans now.
Texas now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, everybody I know or I've seen or I've talked to, I want to see you guys win. I have no hate in my heart. We all went to high school together, man.
I think sometimes with some people, the first thing they hear is when you do well, they immediately compare it to themselves and see what they're not doing, and that can drive somebody.
Yeah, I mean that's very common. But I also had to be realistic. Like with Jordan, I'm not 6'7". Jonathan was a freakish athlete.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was a baseball player, but Jonathan
was crazy.
Jonathan was a freakish athlete.
And humble too.
Right. J.O. was cool. Like J.O. wasn't like a guy that you was like, oh, okay. No, J.O. was a cool guy.
J.O. was real dope, man.
So I was like, why would I be mad at somebody for doing something they want to do? That makes absolutely no sense. That's stupid. Like, it's somebody that I actually know. That's not like so.
Everyone hung out.
Right, we hung out with the guy. I'm like, he's in the league. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah, they need to quit playing with him, man. Put him on the starting roster, man. Quit playing with my guy. Yeah, I think with the NFL and stuff, like athletes, sometimes you just get placed in the system. Mm-hmm. And no, Jonathan should be starting on somebody's team. He's too athletic. He's too talented. He's 6 foot, runs like a 4.3, like 225 solid. He's definitely. I mean, he's a safety. So I also know how good the Texans roster was. But I'm just saying though, like he's good enough to be in the league. Just like Arian's good enough to be in the league. I know he's kind of went back and forth, but he's good enough to be in the league. It's just more so just about timing. Now, but I want to see all those guys win, man. I want to see everybody I know or I've talked to. I want to see them win. I don't have no hating bone in my body. Yeah, there's a moment sometimes where you see somebody and you kind of look over and it's okay. They just dropped something. Now I got to get back in my room and try to figure out what I'm gonna talk about next. It's a little competitive nature, but it's never a point to like ruin somebody's life. I don't care that much for sure. But no, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming on.
No problem, brother.
This is definitely gonna be dope. Any albums in the works?
That's all gonna determine how these next 2 things go. So my plan is I'll just keep dropping singles.
Okay.
Probably once a month. Boom, boom. Yeah. Put all the money I'm saving behind it. And then once one of them goes, I already have 10 in the tuck just for an EP. So the album, I already know the name of the EP or album. It's gonna be called Poisonous Kid. My grandpa was a boxer. They called him Poisonous Kid.
Really?
So
why they call him
that? He's probably knocking some,
some dude out.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the big thing. And no one really knows about that, but that's something I know I'm gonna probably call that. I was gonna call it the slap tape just because kind of the branding I have.
A bunch of slaps.
But yeah.
But no, man, it's gonna be dope, man. Like I said, you say this your year, man. Just gotta make it happen. For sure. Like anything I can do, anybody, me and my friends can do. We're gonna try. We can make it push, man. But you just gotta put it out, man. Don't
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, same to you, man.
Like I said, man, I want to see y'all win. I mean that, bro. It's like that's not there's no fakeness in that. The thing is, bro, like you gonna get when you do get big, everybody that you knew from the city, like that knew you, and they saw you at a party or something. Like, yo, like what's up, man? Like it's one of those like those. Thing is, man, like support is literally it takes literally 5 seconds. And like be frank, like people sometimes you support stuff, you may have never even listened to it. You ain't heard nothing. But it's like somebody else will, man. Like it takes literally 5 seconds to click on something, post on the story, post on your page.
For sure, yeah, like what's
so hard about that? Obviously you're not gonna do it every time, but it's like you do it. If you heard it, listen to it. You gotta flood it. But it's like, man, somebody got a dream and aspiration, man. Just
for
do
sure.
It. No, man. So you gonna drop these 10 slaps. We gonna over promote it.
All right.
And then you're gonna drop another 10 slaps, and then we're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna make this happen, man. You're gonna get signed somewhere. We're gonna get. The goal is Coachella 2021.
Yeah. I was for sure.
That's the goal.
That is the goal, and then I guess. For you, it's what, top 10 podcasts on Spotify, or what we're looking at?
I just think, that's always the overall goal, but that'll happen in due time. I just think
books too.
I'm working on a second book, man, but I'm also not putting the same pressure on myself. Okay. It's one of those things of I've done it. People told me I'm okay. Actually, man, I really want to get into public speaking. Like that's. Like your arena's Coachella, like my arena would actually be to be in the arena and talk to people about things I care about. Podcasting is just something that I'm very passionate about, but it's also because I'm able to it's kind of helped me with public speaking a lot because I'm behind the mic all the time. So now, like when I'm in the faces holding the mic, I'm not scared to do it. Yeah, that's my goal, man. My goal is I want to help people out. I want to help people get to tap into like who they really are. You know what I'm saying? I think we don't know who we really are as people. You know what I mean? Like we want to, we don't really know what we're meant to do because so many people try to box you in. You know what I'm saying? Like with your dad, for example, like he thought that going to grad school was what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You want to be an artist, man. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it.
It's not going to help me.
It's not. So it's like one of those things, like, when I was in school and I went through what I was going through, had very dark times, almost felt out of school, battled with depression, all that stuff. I started realizing, man, like, if I'm not here tomorrow, what am I actually doing? You know what I mean? Like, every day I should not be waking up trying to please my parents. Because, I mean, eventually, I hate to be dark sometimes. But I was like, my parents ain't going to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, so am I going to keep trying to please my parents when they no longer here? Or am I trying to do what I can while I can to, make myself a better person and just try to help somebody else, man? We're all working some sort of job. Right? Yeah. We hate 9 to 5s and not. Being an artist is still a job. It's actually probably
it's just 5 to 9.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's still taxing though, because you still have to go into a show and still promote it, and you still have to put in the same amount of energy. It's still a job. We're serving people. That is our job as people, is to serve something. We just act like we kind of lose sight of that. And I try to remind people, like, we're all doing some sort of service. Like you're never not serving somebody. I mean, that's realistically. Think of all the jobs in the world. Comedians, just serving people in comedy. Athletes, we're watching you play. Sports is a form of entertainment. We're all working. It's just doing what we actually want to do to change somebody's life, man. That's pretty much it. That's my overall goal. That's my personal goal whenever that happens. Because I know when I actually get opportunities to speak, man, you'll hear about me. I've always thought about that.
Thought about Toastmasters?
Huh?
Have you thought about doing Toastmasters?
Explain.
That's Toastmasters. You remember Tyrone? He started doing that too.
Tyrone.
Black man.
Yeah.
Toastmasters is just they work on your public speaking and your body language, and they set you up to do competitions and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's I've heard about that. I think you try to get in where you fit in, and you go from there. But yeah, obviously, if I ever see opportunity, sure, that's my goal. Tyrone's actually doing a lot of good things too. He's like Tyrone be all over the world.
Yeah, man. I don't even know what he does anymore. Yeah.
I think Tyrone's an accountant. Could be wrong, but I mean,
accountant.
No, but I think he has a real good job.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he does a lot of good things. So shout out to my boy Tyrone.
Yeah.
But appreciate it, man. This was episode 6 of Young, Educated, and Uncertain. Make sure you check out my boy Jvinci. I'm a flood all the hits on the episode. Hopefully, if my camera work properly, this will be on YouTube shortly, man. So we're gonna make sure you check it out. So my guy,
appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for coming.
All right, peace.
Yep. Thanks for coming. I came here.
I mean,